So jumping right in, we are going to make the homemade Neverwet coating. You're going to use some silicone sealant, and I'll put a link in all the descriptions for these materials. I'm going to cut it with mineral spirits, and that's going to allow me to create a brushable formula. I'll mix it in a jar, just stir it up. And again, this is going to be a very simple formula. I'm going to coat shoes. I'm going to also coat a piece of paper so you can see how well this will seal some paper from my science notebook. Commercial super hydrophobic coatings often use a fluorinated silant, but I'm making a very simple coating that you can make yourself. I'm going to use a silicone sealant, and this is a ready to vulcanize or RTV sealant. And I will start by just squeezing a healthy amount into my jar. Now, one of the tricks to getting a super high contact angle is to incorporate silica or amorphous silica into your recipe, but I am going to skip that because I think you can make a pretty good coating just cutting the silicone sealant with mineral spirits. Now, the purpose of the mineral spirits in my case is to make a brushable formula out of this thick paste. However, you can continue to add the mineral spirits if you actually wanted to spray coat something. As you can see, I am not actually measuring out the silicone sealant or the mineral spirits. What I'm doing is I'm adding the mineral spirits just to get the viscosity where I want it. Once I have the coating to the viscosity of about call it a warm honey, then I'm going to go ahead and use a brush and just apply a thin coat. And in this case, I'm starting with a piece of paper. I sped things up just so you don't have to watch me brush it. It will make the paper somewhat translucent until the mineral spirits dries. Next, I'm going to coat this canvas shoe that I stole from my daughter's closet. She won't even know this is on there. And now I'm also going to coat half of a piece of wood so that you can see how well this coating works. Again, I'm only going to put one coat on this piece of wood. If you really want to make a hydrophobic coating on I would recommend more than one coat. But for this experiment, I'm just going to coat it once and see how it performs. After leaving my samples for 24 hours, that allowed the mineral spirits to evaporate and the silicone sealant to cure. So now we're going to take a look at how hydrophobic these coatings are. Now I'm quite pleased with a single coating. As you can see, the water or dyed water is just rolling off the paper. None of it is staining the paper or penetrating it, which is what I was shooting for. Now, wood tends to be a lot more porous, so let's take a look at that cedar piece of board that I half coated. So I'll take a little bit of my dye solution, and again, I will add it to that bottom section. And here again, you can see that dye-based water solution is just running off. Some of the beads are staying on it, but a gentle wipe with a paper towel, as you can see, nothing is absorbing. So far, this coating is working quite well. Now let's take a look at what happens to the other side of that board if I add my dye solution to it and just let some of that run down. Here you can see it's spreading out a lot more, which just means it has a low contact angle. But worse than that, as I try to wipe it off with a paper towel, you can see that that dye solution has actually absorbed into the wood. Now let's take a look at how my hydrophobic coating works on these canvas shoes. I think these are Hey Dudes that my daughter has. So you can see in this case, the dye solution is kind of getting hung up on the canvas. These are kind of a meshy material, and unfortunately it does look like it's penetrating into the shoe. However, I just realized I actually grabbed the wrong shoe. So let's take a look at the shoe that I actually coated. Again, you can barely even tell that I applied the silicone coating, but this is the correct shoe now. So as I go ahead and put those drops on, now this looks a little bit better. The drops are really rolling right off that canvas. And if I grab that paper towel and now rub the drops that are kind of staying on the material, it's coming right off. So again, the silicone coating, a single coat is not allowing that dye to stain these shoes. So a homemade hydrophobic coating for less than $5. There's a side by side, and as you can see, the shoe without the treatment does have the blue staining on it. There's that board, and you can see where that blue dye solution has penetrated the wood. Now, I should have done this before, but here is a normal piece of paper. And just to complete the comparison, let's take some of that dye solution, and I'm just going to apply some to this piece of paper and let a dye solution run down an untreated piece of paper. So as you can see, it's wetting out the paper. You can see it's instantly absorbing in a lot of different places. And again, if I try and wipe that off now, it's just too late. The dye has penetrated and stained this piece of paper. So there are a few examples. Now, if we want to dig a little deeper into the science, what a super hydrophobic coating does is it creates a sealed surface, but more importantly, it creates a surface in which water does not want to wet out. And we use the term contact angle. So a super hydrophobic layer creates a very high contact angle in the water or fluid that tries to sit on it. So you can see where if I take my water solution and I just put a few drops of it down on the side which I coated, see how that bead is really staying together? That means that water is having a very high contact angle on that piece of wood, and that is basically the angle of the water inside the droplet. Now, if I put some of the same dye solution on the untreated side, see how that droplet is kind of spreading? The contact angle inside the droplet is, let's just call it around 40 or 50 degrees. Here's a nice side-by-side where you can see how tightly the drop on the left stays. So that is a high contact angle. I'd give this one probably a 90 degrees, whereas the uncoated side here at 30, maybe 40 or 50. Here's a perfect example of what a super hydrophobic coating with a 150-degree angle would look like. Thanks for watching. Check out the description for more information and hit that subscribe button if you'd like to see more videos.